the internet browser, it's pretty fundamental, right? It's how we work, learn, shop, basically live online. But honestly, sometimes it feels like just a wall of tabs and links, endless searching. What if that changed? What if your browser became, well, smarter, more like an active partner?
That's exactly what's happening. It's a huge shift. We're moving beyond just finding stuff. The browser itself is starting to understand what you actually want, maybe even before you do, and it can act on it.
Right. And that's what we're diving into today, this whole AI search browser revolution. The market's just exploding. It's set to completely change how you deal with information online. So our mission here is to unpack all that, look at the growth, who the big players are, the cool new features, but also, crucially, the challenges, things like privacy, security, and then, peek into the future a bit.
Yeah, and we've got some solid sources for this. There's a big market analysis report covering 2025 to 2033, a really important browser security report from Menlo Security, too, plus lots of chatter from actual users on Reddit, which is always revealing. And, of course, announcements from the tech giants themselves.
Perfect. So let's get everyone on the same page. What is an AI search browser, really? Because browser still makes me think of, like, Chrome or Firefox and a search bar.
That's the key distinction. It's way beyond just showing you a list of links. An AI search browser actually has AI agents baked right in, so it gives you direct answers, synthesized information, it understands the context of what you're asking, can suggest follow-up questions, it can even do tasks for you.
Tasks, like booking things.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah,
Or comparing products, summarizing long documents. Think of it like having a smart assistant right there while you browse. It's real-time discovery plus intelligent help.
a co-pilot, almost.
Yeah.
I like that framing. And this isn't just theory, right? You said the market's already moving.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just moving, it's accelerating. The market value was already pegged at, get this, $5,260 million in 2025. And the forecasts show really significant growth ahead.
Wow. What's pushing that growth?
It's mainly three things. First, voice search is getting way more popular, and AI is key to making that work well. Second, AI algorithms are just getting deeper and deeper integrated into the search engines themselves. And third, well, users like us are demanding better results, more relevant, more personalized searches. We're kind of tired of wading through links.
Yeah, tell me about it. So what kinds of AI browsers are out there? Are they all brand new apps we need to download?
Not necessarily. There are basically two main flavors emerging. You've got these function extension plugins. These are like add-ons for your existing browser, say Chrome or Edge, that inject AI features.
Okay, so enhancing what we already use.
Exactly. And then you have the native browsers. These are built from the scratch, like with AI at their absolute core.
And I assume some are free, some cost money.
Yep, you see both models, free versions, often with basic features, and then paid or premium tiers with more advanced capabilities.
Okay, that makes sense. So with this kind of money and tech flying around, who are the main contenders? I mean, obviously, we have to talk about Google.
Yeah, you can't ignore Google. But what's interesting is how their strategy is evolving. Sundar Pichai, the CEO, laid out this 2025 strategy that's really leaning into consumer AI. The idea is that AI apps become your main way of interacting, which kind of subtly pushes the traditional search box slightly out of the limelight.
Wait, Google de-emphasizing the search box? That sounds huge, almost unbelievable. What does that actually look like in practice?
Well, think about something like Project Mariner. It's an AI extension they're developing for Chrome. Imagine you find a list of restaurants on, say, TripAdvisor. Mariner could potentially grab that list and drop it straight into Google Maps for you, without you copying and pasting anything.
Huh. So it connects different apps and actions. It's not just finding, it's doing.
Precisely. It's about acting on information and linking things together.
And they're pushing their own AI, Gemini, hard, right?
Oh, yeah. Getting more people using the Gemini app is a major goal for them in 2025. And then there's Project Astra. This is their really ambitious vision for a universal assistant. Think of something that can help you with anything. Understand text, voice, images, even video, and work across all your devices. It's a massive leap from just typing keywords into a box.
Definitely a different world. Okay, let's shift gears. Perplexity keeps popping up. They call themselves an answer engine. How do they fit into this picture? They seem like a real challenger.
They absolutely are. Perplexity made its name by giving direct sourced answers instead of just links, which a lot of people love. And now they've launched Perplexity Comet. That's their own AI browser. Comet is designed to handle tasks from start to finish. It can browse multiple sites, pull out the key info, and synthesize it for you.
Okay, give me an example.
Sure. We saw a Reddit user talking about this. They said it felt super cool and futuristic. They asked it to find a specific item on Amazon and add it to their cart, and it just did it, all from the prompt.
Whoa. Okay, that is futuristic. How can they power something like that? Google has endless resources, but Perplexity is smaller. Seems computationally intense.
It is intense. They use what they call a model polyglot approach. Basically, they don't rely on just one AI model. They aggregate several top models like GPT-4, Claude 3.5, plus their own sonar model.
Why do that?
Flexibility, mainly. It gives them better economics. They can route queries to cheaper models when possible. And resilience. If one model has an outage or a price hike, they can switch traffic.
Smart. And are they actually gaining traction? I mean, against Google and ChatGPT?
It's fascinating. Look at the numbers from April 2025. ChatGPT had like 4.5 billion web visits. Google Gemini, 133 million. Perplexity had 125.4 million. So they're not the biggest, not even close.
That's still significant.
Exactly. It shows you don't need to dominate the whole market. You can carve out a really strong, sustainable niche by offering something different.
And how are they planning to make money? Is it all VC funding?
Their CEO has been pretty clear. They prefer subscriptions over ads. Their Pro plan, which includes Comet, was $20 a month in 2025. And for businesses, they're focusing on maybe less flashy, but really crucial stuff. Things like SOC2 compliance for security, data residency options, audit trails. That stuff really matters to enterprises, sometimes more than just the raw AI power.
Right, the practicalities. Okay, so Google evolving, Perplexity challenging. What about Microsoft? Edge is built into Windows. That's a huge built-in user base. How are they playing the AI game?
Microsoft has been very actively, though maybe sometimes quietly, integrating AI right into Edge. They're turning it into more of a productivity hub. You've got Copilot built into the sidebar for general help. There's a scareword blocker using machine learning. You can even generate browser themes using AI just by typing a description.
Theme generator. Okay, that's kind of fun. But is there more functional stuff too?
Oh, yeah. Edge has AI features to organize your tags automatically. It has read aloud with really natural voices in like 70 languages, which is great for accessibility or just absorbing info differently. There's text prediction to help you write faster within the browser, and a built-in editor for spelling, grammar, synonyms, basically AI writing assistance on any web page.
So Edge is leaning into AI for both search and general productivity within browser itself.
Exactly. It's about making the whole experience smoother and more powerful, keeping you in the browser for more tasks.
Now, one more major player known for a very different angle, Brave. They've always been about privacy first.
Yeah.
How does AI fit into that? Seems like a potential conflict.
That's the key question for them, and they've addressed it head-on with Brave Leo. That's their in-browser AI assistant. Importantly, Leo uses Brave Search for real-time results, but they've built in strong privacy protections. They state very clearly, Leo never uses your chats to train their AI models.
Okay, that's a big one.
Right. And the free version doesn't require any account or login. They use something called a reverse proxy to anonymize your requests to the AI model. And they say they discard all responses immediately after they're generated.
So they're trying to give you the AI benefits without the typical data harvesting.
That's the goal. And even for their paid version, Leo Premium, they have this unique unlinkable subscription system. It's designed so your payment details can't be connected to your actual usage of the AI. It's another layer of privacy.
That's quite a commitment.
Yeah.
Okay, it's clear these browsers are doing way more than just searching. Let's talk about these game-changing features. What really feels different when you use one?
Well, the biggest thing is probably the enhanced search and personalization. They use advanced natural language processing, NLP, so you can ask questions more naturally, like you talk to a person. And the AI understands the nuances, your history, the context, to give you much more tailored results.
Not just keyword matching anymore.
Exactly. And we're also seeing multimodal search take off. That means using text, voice, maybe even uploading an image, all as part of your search query.
Okay, that's cool. And you mentioned agentic browsing earlier with Perplexity. Can you unpack that a bit more? Is my browser going to start acting on its own?
Well, not quite like Skynet, but yes, it means the browser can perform tasks for you. It becomes an agent acting on your behalf. That Reddit user's example of adding an item to an Amazon cart, that's agentic browsing. The AI understood the intent, find this, add to cart, and executed the steps. It really does give you that futuristic feeling, as the user put it. It takes the manual clicking and form filling out of certain processes.
I can see how that would save a ton of time and hassle on complex websites or comparison shopping.
Definitely. And related to that is the idea of a co-browsing agent. Imagine the AI is essentially reading a web page with you.
How does that work?
Say you're reading a dense research paper or a complicated product comparison. The AI co-browser could summarize sections in real time as you scroll. It could define technical jargon you hover over, or even proactively suggest related articles or alternative products.
So it's not just fetching info, it's helping you understand and synthesize it on the fly, less clicking around trying to piece things together yourself.
Exactly. It helps you grasp complex stuff much faster. Less clicking links one by one, hoping to find the answer.
That sounds incredibly useful for work or study. Are they integrating with other tools we use, like email or calendars?
Yes, that's another big trend. Seamless productivity integration. We mentioned Brave Leo integrating with Brave Talk for meeting summaries and tasks. That's a perfect example. The goal is to make the browser a central hub where information flows more easily between your different tools, making you more efficient without constantly switching apps.
Okay, this all sounds very powerful, very promising, but there's always a but, isn't there? What are the downsides? What are the concerns bubbling up?
You're right to ask. The biggest one, arguably, is data privacy. To provide that deep personalization, these AI systems need a lot of data about you, your habits, your preferences, and that immediately raises huge ethical questions, regulatory hurdles like GDPR. It's a minefield.
Yeah, that quote you shared from Reddit really nailed it, didn't it? The
Mhm.
trade-off between personalization and privacy.
It's the core tension. The more personalized you want it, the less privacy you have. And vice versa. There's no easy answer right now.
And what about the data used to train these AI models? Are companies being upfront about how they use our interactions?
It's murky. Perplexity, as we mentioned, says they have an opt-out policy, but then you hear criticisms like that Reddit user mentioning OpenAI's opt-out process felt shady or limited other features if you did opt out. There needs to be way more transparency and user control over how our data fuels these systems. It's a massive ongoing debate.
Definitely something to watch. And beyond privacy, there's security. Are these AI tools creating new risks?
Unfortunately, yes, and it's serious. That Menlo security report from March 2025 painted a pretty stark picture. They found a 140% increase in browser-based phishing attacks compared to the previous year,
140%? Wow.
and a 130% jump in zero-hour phishing attacks. These are brand new attacks that old security tools haven't seen before. And the report directly links the surge to generative AI being used by cybercriminals.
How are they using AI?
They're using it to create much more convincing fake websites, phishing emails, login pages. They can personalize scams at scale. They often impersonate popular tools, including Gen AI tools themselves, to trick people into giving up sensitive info or downloading malware hidden in things like PDFs.
So the very tools designed to help us are being weaponized against us.
Precisely. The browser is increasingly the front door for these sophisticated attacks. Gartner research suggests over 98% of cyber attacks originate from internet use, and 80% specifically target the browser. And the scary part is, traditional defenses, firewalls, basic antivirus often aren't enough to catch these more evasive AI-generated threats.
That's sobering. A real arms race.
Okay, privacy, security. What about the business side? Are these new browsers actually viable long-term?
That's another major challenge. First, you've still got Google sitting there with over 90% of the search market share. That's an enormous hurdle for any newcomer.
Hard to compete with that dominance.
Very hard. Yeah. And building these AI browsers is incredibly expensive. It requires massive R&D investment. Plus, just running the advanced AI models day to day takes huge amounts of computing power, which costs a lot.
So can models like Perplexity's subscription plan really work in a market used to free ad-supported search?
That's the million-dollar, or rather billion-dollar question, especially when they're currently running on venture capital money. Sustainability for these smaller, subscription-focused players is definitely something to keep an eye on.
All right, despite the challenges, the tech isn't slowing down. Let's look ahead. What's next on the horizon for AI in search and browsing? Well, we'll definitely see trends like contextual search get even better. The AI will get smarter about adapting results based on your location, time of day, what you're currently working on. And voice-activated search will continue to grow and become more conversational, more natural, less robotic commands, more like talking to an assistant.
And what's driving the innovation? Is it just the big companies competing?
It's a few things fueling it. Obviously, continued investment in AI and machine learning research is key. We're also seeing more strategic partnerships, AI browser companies teaming up with productivity software makers, for example. And in some cases, government support and initiatives aimed at boosting AI development are also playing a role. It's a multi-pronged push.
So let's bring it all home. What does all this tech jargon and market movement actually mean for you, the person listening, just trying to navigate the web?
It means your online experience is likely to become much more intuitive, more personalized, definitely, and hopefully a lot more efficient. Your browser could genuinely feel less like a tool you command and more like an assistant that anticipates your needs, helps you understand information, and maybe even takes care of tedious tasks for you.
From a passive window to an active partner.
That's a good way to put it. It's moving from just fetching information to actively assisting you in your workflow, whatever that may be.
Okay, so we've journeyed from the old static search box to these dynamic AI agents. From just browsing links to this idea of intelligent co-browsing. It's clearly a space buzzing with innovation, fierce competition, but also shadowed by some pretty significant challenges around privacy and security.
It really is. And those lines we talked about between search engine, personal assistant, productivity tool, they're getting blurrier practically by the day.
Which leads us to the final thought for you to ponder. As these AI search browsers weave themselves more deeply into our digital lives, potentially becoming indispensable, how much privacy are you willing to trade for that ultimate convenience, that perfectly personalized intelligence? What kind of relationship do you actually want with this increasingly powerful AI in your browser? Something to think about.